Good evening, everyone. It is, well, looks like it's 7 seconds to being July 13th on the East Coast. Uh, what did we have today? Well, in case it isn't obvious by the absolute donger candle, we have the CPI release today. And last night, what I was saying was that I was looking for above about 44.84 that we trade somewhere around 17.50 to 24 half. And the high of the day came in at, I think, 23 or something, 23 and three quarters. So, what is that? Three ticks off. Uh, Now, we tried to sell off, but we instead could not close that gap, and instead we held that Q1 high from back in June, way back around here. We held that June 15th-ish high. That was the same number we had as the high over here. So we held that and bid ourselves back up to about half of the range during the RTH. And now it looks like we're creeping on upwards once again during the overnight, mimicking this creep we had last night after this huge spike into the close. So continuing the trend to the upside, maintained the gap, that RTH gap. On the NQ, similar story. On the NQ, we were just barely able to make a new high of the year, sold off down to this major 342 area. This was the area I was saying the bears have to hold, and they did not hold it to the upside. And no surprise, I guess that's where these shorts were trapped and stayed bid, and that's where we caught the bid and moved back up to the highs there at 466. And once again, much like on the ES, we are climbing on upwards, just like how we did last night. Now, tomorrow we do have PPI hitting the market pre-market, so that will be what I'll be watching. Should give a little bit of volatility in terms of actually trading this. Let's get on with the plan. As you can see, pretty bare bones. Why? Let's actually go to the bigger chart for a second. If we lose this area, this 59 to 70 area, I think we're going to start having a liquidation scenario. And in that scenario, I'm not too excited to be trading. Same on the NQ. If we start to lose kind of this 230-ish area, let's call it about 240, 250. If we start to lose this area, I think you end up with a liquidation scenario again. So I'm not too interested in trading that. Instead, I'll be looking to hit it long where the structure still deems it safe to do so. So that to me would be the price close, the 4 p.m. close at 75 and three quarters. Or if we hold the high from Tuesday, if instead we just hold that RTH high at 78, I'd be willing to take 85 to 86 long for a move back into today's RTH range around 97 and climbing above this weekly high and this weekly high over here. To the upside, if we get a run above the high of the day, the RTH high, and do not break the overnight high. So in this case, your overnight high would be something like this. Going down to a 1 minute chart. Let's go to a 5 minute. If your overnight high is somewhere here, and we get something like this, where we run the high of the day, do not break the overnight high, and instead come down below, what I'll be looking for is to get short somewhere around here, and somewhere around here, for a move to break this overnight low over here, to break this. And if that breaks, I think we'll go ahead and get our eventual move down into the gap close. Oh, sorry, even further down. Down over here. So that's what I'll be looking for on the ES. Now on the NQ, the Nasdaq, as we saw today, by just barely squeaking above this high of the year that we had, the Nasdaq remains a little bit weak, and I don't really like calling it weak because it's actually had a better run than ES off these April lows. It's had a much more aggressive run, and it's actually closer to the all-time high. Now, with that said, intraday, this has been the chart that's been selling harder, so I'll be looking to be a little bit more aggressive on the short side here. If we tag 331 and hold and come back to 366s, I'd be looking to get long there at that 95% value area low from today's session and ride it back into somewhere around this kind of 420-ish area. Otherwise, if the ES is selling off and I want to find a short vehicle, that will be at 427s Or similar to the look above and fail on the ES, I'll be looking for a look above and fail off of kind of 500, roughly where we're trading right now. If this fails during the RTH, I'd look to be a short 466s for a move to first, down to about 430, 440, and then down to a new low, breaking this RTH low of the day, getting into that 331 area, and then we can see what we get if we get a gap close scenario. I may have actually forgotten to add one setup here, and that is the gap close trade. Where is that? 278 and 3/4 and 268. Yeah, I don't really see anywhere that I'd be looking at long. I might have to look into this later, but in general, I want to see these stops get ran and then be looking to get long somewhere around 273, just a bit above this 4 p.m. close here from Tuesday's session. It's the 95% value area high. I think we'd be able to pop back above that Tuesday RTH high, that 278 number, 278 3/4, pop above that 280. What is that? 280 half? Yeah, 280 half. The weekly VWAP close, get above that, and then start making our way back upwards into this CPI low, into the RTH low, and into this 360 area. We'd see some sort of upward move or trend upwards into the close. So overall, yikes, 6 minutes. Overall, I want to be wary of a liquidation move now after such a bullish, really a bullish since Monday's midnight. We've been pretty much just trending up from 44.10 to about 45.10, about a 100-point move. I want to be careful of a liquidation move to the downside, and similar on the NQ. I want to be careful of that, especially given that it's struggled to really make new highs. Made a high of the year, just barely made a new one, failed, made a lower one, just barely squeaked out a higher one. Now it's trying to move upwards. So overall, not a ton of faith in this thing. Going to be careful on the long side, careful on the short side. Maybe things clear up by Friday, but for now, being a little bit hesitant. Anyway, hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. Have a great night. Trade safe.